Hi everyone. Today I have a kind of scuffed video, kind of going through the next Let's Play that I want to do. And what I want to do for it is I'm going to let you guys decide based on a couple decisions that I've made. So a couple months ago I asked you guys to sort of give me a list of games that you want to see me play on the channel. And using those games, I narrowed it down to a few that I am interested in trying as well. And I'm gonna just use this video to kind of go through them, talk about why I might want to play them, and sort of what I think the playthrough is going to be like. And then I'm gonna have a link to the poll in the description below so that you can vote for which one you would like to see. But you might notice very quickly that there are no SMT games on this list, and the reason for that is because I want to take a break from SMT games just for a little bit. We're just gonna play one of these first, and then I'm probably just gonna play Apocalypse after. So we're gonna take a break with one of these, and then we'll go back to our usual SMT. But I wanted to go through these games so that you can have an understanding of where I'm getting at with these. So the form is gonna look like this, and you're gonna have a choice of 5 games, and there's an other box as well. I only put that there because I know there are some people who really want to suggest a game, and whatever game you put in other, I might not be playing next, but you know, I could add it to a poll for the future. So make use of that however you wish. But the first game that I wanted to talk about is Kingdom Hearts 1. And Kingdom Hearts is a game that I have never really played. When it came out, I did have the first game on my, I think it was PS2, and I played like the tutorial island thing, which I'm pretty sure took a really long time, because after that I just stopped playing it and didn't really get into the series. And honestly, as the years have gone by and more games have come out, it's been harder and harder to really get into the series. And I know a lot of people really like this series, so I want to give it a try. In my research, I found that there's a proud mode or whatever in the first game. Oh, I also wanted to make it clear that I actually have the game on PS4. I bought this Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package a couple months ago. It was on sale. I think it was actually about the same price here, $40. And what it has is 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and 3 all in one for $40. So I bought that. So I own it, and I can just play it if I want to. These numbers, they don't mean anything to me. I was told by my friends that 1.5 is essentially 1 or whatever. So yeah, I can just start with that, and then 2.5 is 2 or something. I don't know. But yeah, I would play that on the PS4, and probably just the first game for now. If I really like it, we'll probably do the second game at some point as well, and then, you know, keep going through the series. But yeah, it would just be the first game. It would be blind, and it would be on proud mode, which is apparently the hard mode. The second game I wanted to talk about is Bravely Default. Now, Bravely Default, I actually think this is a picture of the second game. When I was Googling it, I think it said Bravely Default 2 on it. But there is a second game coming out very soon, and I've always wanted to play Bravely Default because it's also, I think it's like a Square Enix game or whatever. I haven't done much research, but I do own a copy of the first game on my 3DS. I only played it for, I think, 4 to 5 hours. and you know, it's probably a pretty good game because a lot of people like it, and there are sequels coming out. So I want to play that. It has a hard mode, so I'll definitely be playing it on the hard mode, and it also has, I think, sliders for encounter rate, which is really cool because I hate random encounters, and I have to change the song because there's lyrics. But yeah, I definitely want to try Bravely Default 1, and then if that's good, I could play Bravely 2nd, and then the new Bravely Default that's coming out in a couple months. But yeah, this should be a really fun game if I was to play it. The next game, Dragon Quest XI, is a game that I have as well on Steam, and I've played again 4 to 5 hours of it, and then I stopped playing it. I mean, it seems like a cool game. I just didn't really have the time to put into it, but I've also found that while doing these LPs, it has been so much easier to finish games because, I'm doing it on video and I'm doing it kind of for the viewers and stuff, so it motivates me to actually finish the game. And I know this is definitely a very good game, and I want to give it more time and give it another chance. If I was to play it, I wrote blind here because I've only played 4 or 5 hours, and I'm pretty sure the game's like 60 hours or whatever long. And I put Draconian because as I was looking at the difficulty settings, I was told that it's really just a normal mode, and then there are modifiers that you can add to it when you start the game. So the Draconian settings I was looking at was the stronger enemies and the less XP, and that should be able to emulate a harder mode. If we do end up playing this game, I will probably look at the other settings in more detail and make a better choice from that. But, I think we can have a fun, challenging Dragon Quest XI playthrough if we were to play it. Next is Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. Now, I wrote blind and normal here, and I'm going to explain that in a second, but Shadow Dragon, I came to this game based on this Reddit guide thing that I found, and essentially it's telling me where I should start if I was to play a Fire Emblem game. And I chose the first one, or FE11, which is a remake of the very first game apparently, because it has characters that I know, I guess Marth, Lucina, Robin, Chrom. So I figured that would be a good place to start. If that's a terrible place to start, let me know, and I might choose a different Fire Emblem game. You could actually write that in the other section here. But right now I'm thinking of Shadow Dragon, and I don't know how it's gonna go. I am terrible at tactic games, which is why I put normal here. But the other reason why I put normal is because upon research, I found that the hard mode apparently skips the prologue. So, I kind of want the full story, because if I'm going to be playing the Fire Emblem games, it's going to be a long grind, and that would require me being invested in the story. So I want to actually play the game instead of putting it in like the hardest mode and tearing my hair out because I lost all the characters. Because I know Fire Emblem has permadeath, and that's a little scary, but I guess if I'm careful enough, it should be fine. And finally, the very last game I put on this list, I very reluctantly put it on this list, is Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. Now, if you've been on my channel for a long time, you might know, that at one point I did stream Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. And when I was streaming that, I played that game on nightmare mode. And it was definitely a nightmare because it was incredibly difficult and stressful, and I was streaming it. So I do really would like to finish Trails in the Sky at some point, but I just can't bring myself to do it right now. I was talking to my friend who like only plays Trails games. I don't know. He seems to really like them and says they're like the most amazing thing ever. So he recommended that if I don't want to play Trails in the Sky, I can start with Trails of Cold Steel, which has like 4 games spin-offs of its own. But I could start with Trails of Cold Steel. It would still be a decent start, and then I can go back to Trails in the Sky later on to finish those. I wrote blind and hard here because I don't want a repeat of what happened in the nightmare mode in Trails in the Sky. But I did do Trails in the Sky live and on stream, which is what made it more stressful than it should have been. I had to deal with sound problems. I had to deal with, just trying to entertain the stream. Whereas when I'm recording in my own room, it's a lot easier to edit out mistakes, edit out all the backtracking and stuff, and make it a more concise and entertaining video. So Nightmare is not off the table. It's not. But I am heavily leaning towards hard. So I would like your opinion on what you would like me to play. I know that some games that you guys have requested are not on this list, and well, I already talked about the SMT games. I don't want to play an SMT game next. I will save that for after this next playthrough. But other games that I didn't put on, like Tales games, Etrian Odyssey, Valkyria Chronicles, Strange Journey, Nier. I didn't put those on just because these are the 5 games that I'm kind of really interested in playing at the moment. The other games I will definitely take a look at, and we'll add them to future polls as well. But right now, these are the 5 games that I am heavily considering playing, and I would like to hear your opinion on it. This is a multiple choice poll, so you can go ahead and just choose all 5 options and make my life terribly hard, because then I would have to make the choice. Or you could choose 3 of them, you could choose just 2, or you could just choose 1. You could also be a degenerate and just choose other and put please play SMT, but I won't listen to that, so don't do that, please. At the bottom, you can see a short description in case, this video was too long. But if it was too long, you wouldn't be listening to this anyway. So yeah, look at the description below, and there will be a link to this poll. And I would like to hear what you guys think. But until then, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.